AOD gang, what is going on today? So, as you have read by the title, today are my Doctor Who Season 1 and beyond predictions, but mostly just for Season 1. I know I'm a bit late to this, but having had, at the day of filming, which is Wednesday the 15th of May. Having had 2 episodes so far, it's made my predictions more better. So let's not waste any time and let's get straight into this. At the number 10 spot, so it's very unlikely on my list. There will be no or very little of David Tennant's 14th Doctor. Now, as of the time of filming this video, when I made these predictions, Russell T Davies didn't say what he said. So what he basically said was 14 is definitely not returning in any capacity, and David Tennant has retired from Doctor Who, in which he could have definitely retired from Doctor Who or from acting, because he's actually getting on a bit now, and he's got his family, he's got Georgia Tennant to look after, he's got his kids. So he's got other priorities than being the Doctor, but he is a big fanboy of Doctor Who, just like Peter Capaldi. But then again, Peter Capaldi said he would never return. But yeah, I think there will be, if 14 is in the is in season 1, which I think will kind of take away from Ncuti Gatwa, but it kind of then again wouldn't make sense if he wasn't in season 1, seeing as he's literally on Earth. You've got Rose Noble coming back, you've got links to the Noble family, and obviously David Tennant is now living with the Noble family, so I don't know, he has still got his TARDIS with him, so because obviously the TARDIS split in 2, so they could make that excuse. 15 could ask, oh, where's 14, or or where's 14 and Don. Rose could easily just say they're off on an adventure in the TARDIS, easy. Anyway, that's the first point. I think there'll be no or very little of number 14. Now, jumping straight into the number 9 spot, the 15th Doctor will take a companion from the historic era. Now, hear me out on this one. We obviously all know there's a new companion in season 2, and spoiler for the rest of this video, that might be a later point. But yeah, we all know from set photos and from officially announced that there's a new companion joining the TARDIS team in season 2 with Ncuti Gatwa and Millie Gibson. She's the actress from Andor. I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but she's the actress from Andor. She was phenomenal in that, so hopefully she's good in Doctor Who. Now, my theory is that somebody, the Doctor will pick up some character from the historic era, whether that's Jonathan Groff's character. I still really hope it's not Captain Jack, but that's a discussion for another video. But I hope he's not Captain Jack, but it may well be Jonathan Groff's character. But I wouldn't be surprised if it is the Season 2 companion. Now, going through the time vortex into number 8, Season 1 will have no previous Doctor Who villains. So when I mean previous Doctor Who villains, I mean Cybermen, Daleks, Weeping Angels, any villain any like popular villain that's came up a lot. So especially the Daleks and the Cybermen. I think we need to kind of hope, and I do hope, as much as it's a joy to see the Daleks and Cybermen, I think we need to put them on the back burner for at least 2 seasons. So maybe bring them back at the end of Season 2, or what is better, maybe bring Cybermen back in Season 2 and then have hints of the Daleks coming back, and you know, and then you can build up to a big Season 3, or even on to Season 4, depends how long Ncuti stays on for, build up onto a big Season 3 or 4 finale, which could be a good 2-parter, a big 2-parter Dalek one, even better than what we got with David Tennant. But yeah, I don't think there will be any previous villains. They will all be new. Now, except from Mel and Rose Noble, I don't think there will be any previous companions in the mix. Possibly Donna, possibly not. 14th Doctor Adao, and he's not really a companion. Donna is possibly not. But yeah, I don't think there will be any previous companions other than them. So no Tegan, no Ace, although it's not out of the question because they do work for UNIT. So you won't have any Dan, Yaz, Bradley Walsh, his character, Graham, that's it. You won't have any Graham, you won't have any Tosin Cole's character. So you won't have any older companions, even though they are working for UNIT, and UNIT is going to play a big role in the finale. But yeah, I don't think any other previous companions will show up. Now moving on to the number 6 spot. I can't remember if I said, but that was the number 7 spot. But moving on to the number 6 spot, I don't think the Master will return, and I think Russell T Davies has probably confirmed this. I don't think there'll be any Master in Season 1, and possibly even Season 2, and maybe even Season 3. I mean, it's not out of the question. Matt Smith went through his entire run without a Master, and then we obviously got Missy in Peter Capaldi's era. So it's not out of the question, and to be honest, Ncuti is he is giving off Matt Smith fun vibes, so it's not out of the question that he won't have a Master. But on that, we have got the hint of the one who waits or something like that. But this ain't a point on this video. But I think the one who waits is not the Master. It's someone else, and I feel like it could be some classic villain, and that would link back into the 8th point. But if there is a previous villain, or if the Master doesn't return, I think it'll be someone like Omega or some other classic villain. With that, moving on to the number 5 spot, Mrs. Flood. Personally, I think she's not going to be the person we think she is. Now, I do think we'll get an identity reveal, but I think it's going to be, we've got all these theories around saying, oh, is it Ruby from the future? Or is that actually the Master? Or is it I don't know, could Mrs. Flood be the one who waits? Could that be one of the Toymaker's legions? I doubt that. I think it's going to be someone. I wouldn't be surprised if it could be Ruby's mother, like biological mother, or the person. It wouldn't be out of the question if Mrs. Flood is the person who dropped Ruby off at the church on Ruby Road. Hear me out here. It would make sense because then she'll know what a TARDIS is. Because as we know from the first few episodes, from some flashbacks, the hooded figure turns round to the 15th Doctor, points at him, and obviously the 15th Doctor was near his TARDIS, so, but then again, there would need to be something added on to that, because she could have known it was just a normal police box, unless she's been to that church a few times, and knew that wasn't there. But I think personally she's going to be Ruby's biological mother, and that will, again, a little spoiler, that I think that's one of my points. But if she's not, I'll explain that in a minute. But I think she's not going to be who we think she is. I think all these theories, they're going to be completely obliterated, and I think she's going to rather be a new character. Well, she is a new character, but she'll definitely, I doubt, will be the Master, and now that links into the previous point: the Master will not return, and I don't think she'll be one of the Toymaker's legions. Here's the point from when I was talking about point 9. So moving on to number 4, the season 2 companion, so the one from Andor, will show up in some capacity in season 1. Obviously any filming she's done would be in studio, because we have not seen any filming photos from season 1 if she's in it. I think there's a possibility that she could show up in rather the last 2-parter, or she could be some form of background character or something like that. But personally, I think she'll show up in season 1 to some capacity, because it would kind of be a bit odd, just introducing a new companion in season 2 who we still don't really know. Because like if you link it back to Martha, we got introduction to Martha in I think it was a Christmas special, or Donna's a better choice. We got introduced to Donna in a Christmas special. She was just kind of just someone. So if not season 1 she'll show up, it would definitely be the Christmas special she shows up. Otherwise, I think it's going to be hopefully they don't rush it, but she could be easily rushed in season 2. But that's a point for a different video. Before we get on to the top 3 spots, make sure if you're enjoying this video about Doctor Who and about my theories and or requests for it, make sure you leave a like on this video and subscribe with post notifications on, so you're always notified whenever I upload whatever type of video that is. I'm trying to keep a consistent upload schedule of once a week, but with exams on at the moment it's not that possible. And yeah, so make sure you subscribe. I'll be posting quite a bit during the summer, hopefully. And keep in mind, if I don't post during the summer, it is because I'm focusing on Roadman 5. And go check out my TikTok or Instagram to go get the title reveals, which will also be revealed on YouTube soon. Make sure you subscribe to keep updated. Coming into the top 3 spot, so at number 3, I think any spin-offs, so this is not really related to season 1, but I think rather at the end of season 1, so after the finale has aired, I think we'll get some form of spin-off announcement. Now, we all know that there is a possibility of a unit spin-off, and it would not be out of the question. You could bring back companions, you could make it a more adulty show like Torchwood, you could make it a more family friendly show like Sarah Jane Adventures, or something like that. So I think spin-offs will be announced, and whether there's a little teaser for one after episode 8 of season 1, so the final episode has aired, whether there'll be a teaser or not, I don't know, but I personally think there'll be some form of announcement, whether that's just a poster, a little teaser trailer, a full trailer maybe, but I think some spin-offs will be announced rather after season 1 or after the Christmas special, or later this year. At the number 2 spot, linking back to my previous point about Mrs. Flood, I don't think we'll find out, unless it's Mrs. Flood, who Ruby's parents are. I think, and I do kind of hope, that it's a mystery for the whole of the time Ruby is on the TARDIS team and in the show, or at least in the main TARDIS team. Now hear me out on this. The probability of this happening is quite low, because I do think that there is a high possibility we do find out who her parents are, but what's to say that the person who dropped her off isn't Ruby's parents? Like, we do not know who the person who dropped Ruby off at the church on Ruby Road is. That could just be someone completely random. Like I said, I think that's Mrs. Flood. Even though the boots do look like the 13th Doctor. But I think it's Mrs. Flood. Anyway, personally, I think to keep Ruby Sunday, Millie Gibson's character, in the role and interesting in season 2, is to not find out who her parents are. Have that to be a big reveal rather at the end of season 2 or 3, or whenever Ruby departs the TARDIS. Because obviously we know she's in season 2 because of set filming and because of an official announcement. But yeah, as she's in season 2, I think it'll be better to keep that a secret until the end of at least season 2. Maybe reveal who Ruby Sunday is, but just don't reveal who her parents are. Otherwise that would also take away from her adoptive mother. It would make Ruby less interesting in season 2, and she wouldn't be much of a side character in season 2. Moving on to the one that everyone in this video has been waiting for. At our number 1 spot, we have finally made it. Doctor Who will have more musical aspects. Yeah, I think that is a big thing Doctor Who is going to move forward in. And hear me out, as much as I don't like it, they are a bit fun, they are a bit funky, which Doctor Who is about, but I don't want it to be near on every week. I want maybe one per season, not even that. Even having it in the previous episode, The Devil's Chord was pushing it, seeing as we only had a little musical bit in the Christmas special, A Church on Ruby Road, is pushing it a bit. But yeah, it will definitely have more musical aspects, and I would not be surprised if in the future, even in 2026, 2027, 2025 even, Doctor Who will go on like a musical tour, which will start in the UK in a few selected locations, you know, like London, maybe Glasgow, maybe Edinburgh, maybe like big cities like Manchester as well. So it will go on to some musical tours around there, around England, around UK, even Cardiff in the Millennium Centre. But as much as I don't want it to be more musical based, I think the probability of it being is a yes. Because Millie Gibson and Ncuti Gatwa, they do both have amazing voices for singing. And I think it would publicise Doctor Who a lot more if it actually went onto a live stage. And you could kind of even enroll it into like a pantomime. So you could release a pantomime on top of a Christmas special as well. Which that would just make Doctor Who completely on top. As much as people probably wouldn't like the pantomime, much as it will take away from the actual show. You could just say, it's not canon, it's just a little funky, fun little thing that you can do. And Ncuti Gatwa and Millie Gibson's schedules, especially Ncuti Gatwa's, they're packed, so it will be difficult. But maybe not even live shows, I don't know. But yeah, it will have more musical aspects, whether that's outside the show, inside the show, a spin-off, I don't know. But like I said, I just don't want more than one, at maximum one per season. That is even pushing it. And I don't want there to be any musical aspects after a serious episode. So maybe like the ones that are actually looking serious this season, so the final two parters, The Legend of Ruby Sunday and The Empire of Death. I don't want any musical stuff in that. Obviously you can have music, because that's a main key part of the like non-diegetic music, or even diegetic music, but just not singing. So take away the impact of the especially when you have a title like The Empire of Death. You need that episode to be dark, to be not depressing, but to be dark, to be I don't know, but yeah, you need it to actually have a big impact, and having a musical aspect in there will ruin it. Like the Devil's Chord, the word devil is literally in the title. We all know this episode was going to be a musical episode due to Jinx Monsoon and the Maestro as they played, which was done phenomenally. But all the Maestro did in the episode was stand around and complain a bit. Didn't really do much, except for maybe killing an old woman who played music on a piano. But yeah, you have musical aspects in it because it would make it fun, goofy, and it'll make stuff like that, which is I think the whole point of the 15th Doctor, coming off the serious and the depressing of the 14th. But just don't overdo it, otherwise Doctor Who, like I've seen so many rumours, it'll become too woke, it will be and it'll just die out and people will get bored of it. If you did maybe one per season, or even one per 2 seasons, or something like that, or maybe one per year, not even a season, just a year, and that does include things like the Christmas special. So if you wanted one in season 1, hopefully we don't get one in the Christmas special, or save them for the Christmas special, or maybe something on the lines of that, but maybe not every Christmas special, otherwise it'll get boring again. But yeah, that's my number 1 spot. Doctor Who will have more musical aspects. It will definitely have, like I said, and like I've repeated myself, but I just don't want them to overdo it. Otherwise it will become too woke, too boring, and people will lose interest. Even the new fandom, which I'm not. I've been watching Doctor Who since virtually I was bloody born. So yeah, that was my number 1 spot. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you want more listing videos such as this, or even I can do the tier list ones, and it doesn't just have to be Doctor Who. It can be anything which is appropriate, which is actually appropriate. There goes my English. So as long as it's appropriate and all that, I could do a tier list on anything. I could do my thoughts on anything. All you got to do is comment below, or even just drop me a DM on Instagram, or on TikTok, or just comment on one of my TikTok videos saying, I wouldn't mind if you did this or this in a new YouTube video. Now, I am very appreciative of all of you, and I'm so happy we've got over 200 subscribers. Currently we're on 207. My aim by the end of the year is to try to get to between 250 to 300, and then my aim by 2030 is to try and get to 1,000, or even more. So I would really love, and I really appreciate it if we could get that silver play button. Now, with that said, I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I will see you guys in the next video. Allons-y.